Have you been feeling mentally exhausted lately? With work, relationships, and worries about the future, our minds can be quite overwhelmed. Every day is filled with different worries and concerns. I always feel like I'm being chased by something that I find myself worrying about things I'm not really seeking. As I go through each day like this, I gradually feel a heaviness in my heart. How would you feel if I told you that it would be easier if you just didn't care? That kind of indifferent attitude won't solve the problem, that it's an attitude lacking a sense of responsibility. It may just seem like escapism to you. However, the expression "I don't care" carries there is a profound wisdom that has been hidden for 2,500 years. It is said that those who reached enlightenment in ancient India recognized the root of human suffering as the ultimate understanding that I figured out how to let it go. To put it in today's terms, this is precisely the mindset of indifference. In this video, I'll explain how embracing this idea, based on Wood's teachings, can transform your life for the better. I'll do this without resorting to complex Buddhist terminology. We will present it in a way that relates to everyday life today. Even if you're not familiar with Buddhism, you can start practicing right away. Many of the troubles you're dealing with right now are this magical phrase, "I don't care," can surprisingly lighten your mood. When your mind feels lighter, life naturally starts to improve. I wonder why I was so troubled. It's amazing how easy it is to feel better, and I wish I had learned this way of thinking sooner. After many people have embraced this wisdom, that's how I feel. Now let's move on. Let's explore the true meaning of things that don't really matter together. Let's embark on a journey to liberate your mind. From this very moment, your life is about to change. Chapter 1, however, the true meaning, the essence of the phrase, "it doesn't matter," signifies liberation from attachment, as taught by Buddha. However, when people hear "it doesn't matter," many may associate it with negative connotations like a careless attitude or irresponsibility. It is entirely different from those negative things. What the Buddha taught is about things that don't really matter. This represents the wisdom to liberate oneself from excessive attachment to things and to gain freedom of the mind. With prices dating back approximately 2,500 years, that IT has been taught that excessive attachment is the root of human suffering. We must feel the need to obtain something at all costs. The stronger our desire to hold on to something, the more our hearts get filled with anxiety and fear. When things don't go as I want, I feel anger and joy. Even if I achieve it, I'm then haunted by the new anxiety of possibly losing it. This cycle of endless suffering. To truly escape from something, one must adopt an attitude of not caring at all. However, this does not mean being indifferent or unconcerned about everything. In fact, it's the insight to understand the essence of things and identify what doesn't need to be clung to. For instance, when it rains and your plans change, it's understandable to feel down about your carefully made plans being ruined. It doesn't matter. We can choose to enjoy the things we can do indoors. You will feel surprisingly lighter. What accounts for this difference? It's about whether you can let go of the obsession that things need to go exactly as planned. The notion that everything is subject to change has reshaped our understanding of prices. It's only natural that things don't always go our way. Still, if you cling to the idea that things should be exactly as you imagined, you'll end up suffering from the disconnect with reality. Eventually, you'll start to feel like it doesn't matter. You will be freed from the suffering that comes from the gap between reality and expectations. However, there are things that you may not care about. It's completely different from living life haphazardly. Instead, it truly relates to what is important. It's about having the freedom to recognize what isn't really important. When I'm criticized by my boss for a work mistake, I shouldn't convince myself that I'm worthless. Mistakes happen to everyone. If you could tell yourself, "it's no big deal, I'll be more careful next time," you'll free yourself from the pain of constantly blaming yourself. Attachment is the root of suffering. That I was taught that letting go of attachment leads to liberation. In other words, when you can see something as insignificant, it means you have released your attachment to it. But it's important to ponder whether this is truly trivial in our daily lives, as it helps us recognize what we are attached to. Over time, we can start to let go of those attachments. It's about reclaiming your mental freedom as a practice to help you reach a state where you can feel detached and indifferent. Let's start with something small first. The train was delayed. When my order at the restaurant was a bit off. When a friend takes their time replying. It's about those little everyday occurrences. Try to adopt the mindset that certain things don't really matter. It may feel difficult at first, but as you practice more, it will get easier. Your heart will gradually feel lighter. According to the teachings of Buddha, letting go of attachment brings more than just simple optimism. It is a clear mind that embraces things as they truly are. When we perceive the world this way, so that I can handle problems calmly, over time, life itself begins to improve. Chapter 2. Learning to confront our desires in relation to pricing. Our daily life is filled with various desires. I want that outfit, I want to be appreciated more, and I want to be better than others. These desires are natural for human beings. It explains that when prices are influenced by these desires, it leads to suffering. So, how should we approach our desires? At the core of Buddhist teachings is the wisdom to distinguish between wants and needs. For instance, we often feel a desire for a new smartphone when it is launched. But is that truly necessary? Even if we don't have the latest model, most of what I'm currently using works well enough. Confusing wants with needs can trap us in a cycle of endless desire. By recognizing this distinction, I've come to realize that this is just a matter of desire. You will find that you can let go as if it doesn't matter. And then, quite strangely, I feel a sense of relief. You will learn to focus your awareness on what is truly essential. The Buddha teaches us to be particularly mindful of the desires that arise from our visual experiences. When comparing ourselves to others, we often find ourselves wanting to live in a life that seems better than theirs. I want to be more successful than that person. The things I think lead to an endless sense of dissatisfaction. This is because there will always be someone in a better situation than you. If you constantly look up at them, you might fail to recognize the happiness you have right now. You start to feel that you don't care about such desires to compare yourself to others. You'll be able to navigate life at your own pace. Others have their own paths, and you have yours. There's no need to compare ourselves to one another. It also suggests that high expectations can lead to disappointment. The more we hope for something intensely, disappointment increases when things don't go as planned, especially when I was hoping for a promotion at work that didn't materialize. No matter what the outcome is, I am at peace. There's no need to lower my expectations to zero, but when we expect a response from a friend and it doesn't come, it deeply hurts us. But if we can let go of those expectations as if they don't matter, it would be wonderful if things turned out this way without attachment. But it's crucial to maintain a flexible mindset that is perfectly fine with whatever happens. This reflects the sense of contentment taught by Buddha. One way to approach this is by adopting the philosophy of knowing what is enough. This isn't just about enduring or putting up with things. It's about cultivating an attitude of gratitude for what we have. Every morning when I wake up, I'm grateful for my health and the food I have today. Just thinking about having a place to live brings feelings of gratitude. The heart becomes enriched. In fact, studies in psychology show that emotional richness is valued more than material wealth. That it is known that cultivating a sense of gratitude can enhance one's overall happiness. However, the joy we get from acquiring what we desire is only temporary. The joy of appreciating what we have lasts. Moreover, it suggests a healthy approach to our desires. It's important to acknowledge your desires without letting them control you. For instance, I felt like I wanted this piece of clothing, that it's certainly beautiful, but right now it doesn't really matter. Let's take a moment to breathe and think about it when it becomes truly necessary. Doing so will help reduce impulsive actions. You will be able to spend your money and time on things that truly matter. The concept of the middle way that Buddha taught is also beneficial, as it encourages avoiding extremes. It's a way of life that strikes a balance, acknowledging desires without entirely denying them, but also without pursuing them blindly. It's important to engage with others while keeping a healthy distance. Showing indifference can be seen as practicing the middle way. Once you learn to manage your desires effectively, the heart finds tranquility in the book. You will start to notice the satisfaction that rises from within. And that is truly it. This refers to the happiness of the mind that Buddha described. Chapter 3. Live in the moment. We engage with the essence of mindfulness in our daily lives, that I find myself consumed by regrets from the past and worries about the future. I keep wondering if I should have done things differently back then and whether things will go smoothly moving forward. While being present here and now, the heart wanders in a state of heat. Buddha referred to this condition as being absent-minded. It has been said that a major cause of suffering is this. One of Buddha's innovative teachings is to direct our awareness to the present moment. There is something known as mindfulness nowadays, which is widely recognized, but its roots lie in the teachings of Buddha. It exists. Mindfulness, and it's not about the past or the future, but the present moment. That IT describes a mental state in which one focuses their awareness on the present moment, observing without making any judgments. For example, many people don't take the time to fully enjoy the taste and aroma of their food when they are eating. That I'm checking my smartphone and pondering over work matters. But a mouthful, pay attention to each bite of food. By enjoying the present moment, you can recognize the happiness that you often miss in everyday life, even with the same meal. How we choose to direct our awareness can greatly influence the quality of our experiences. Buddha teaches that adopting an indifferent attitude helps us live in the present moment. If you dwell on past failures, you'll keep believing that they were failures. And if you're fixated on your future self, you might find yourself anxious about things not going as planned. However, if you can let go of these things without caring about them, in fact, consciousness naturally comes back to the present moment. We cannot change past events. Even if we bring them to light, we can't rewind time. Similarly, the future has not come yet, and no matter how much you worry, you can't be sure about anything. The only thing you can be certain of is this very moment. Buddha understood this simple yet profound insight. I spoke about the importance of living in the present. So, how can we focus our attention on the present moment? One way to do this is to look for more moments in your everyday life that you find insignificant, like when you're stuck in traffic, but there's no point in getting frustrated. I don't care if you can perceive it that way. Enjoying the view from the window of the car, listening to your favorite music can make the moment more enjoyable. Additionally, focusing on your breathing can also be beneficial. Moksha is a practice that is continually performed, that it's neither in the past nor in the future, but in the moments between work and household chores. Even with just a smartphone, you can focus on your breathing. Your mind comes back to the present. A simple practice of breathing in and out helps you feel that you are living in this very moment. That IT promotes peace of mind. There are numerous ways to integrate mindfulness into your daily routine, such as enjoying a cup of coffee in the morning. When you pour in hot water as I take a shower, I focus on the aroma of the rising steam and the taste of the first sip. Life as a whole becomes richer and more fulfilling by paying attention to the feel and temperature of water, as well as the refreshing sensations it brings to the body. We can cherish these small moments in our daily lives. Let's proceed. Buddha taught that adopting an indifferent attitude is crucial for alleviating the suffering that stems from attachment. But it's not just about ignoring things. Instead, it's about letting go of unnecessary worries and regrets. You will learn to focus your attention fully on this moment. The beauty of living in the present is, by not letting ourselves be affected by the past or the future, we create a sense of calm within our hearts. With that calmness, you will be able to respond appropriately to the situation at hand. For instance, when you make a mistake at work, it's easy to get down on yourself by remembering past failures. If I can focus on what needs to be done, problem solving will be more efficient by focusing on the present, so that you can appreciate the little joys of daily life. There will be flowers blooming along the roadside, the laughter of children. The beautiful sky at dusk is always around us. But when our minds wander elsewhere, we often miss these moments. What might seem insignificant, wisdom as distractions fade away, we gain the ability to appreciate these beautiful moments. This is what Buddha teaches about living in the present, that it's not something special at all. Anyone can practice it. What really matters is being able to do it perfectly every time. Not when you become aware that your mind is preoccupied with the past or the future. It's about making a habit of letting go of what doesn't matter and coming back to the present. This small accumulation will eventually transform your entire life. Chapter 4, Chapter the Wisdom. To let go of attachments in relationships. Human relationships can bring us the greatest joy in life, but they can also be a source of profound suffering. I wonder why they spoke to me like that I feel increasingly trapped by the desire to be acknowledged. When it happens, we are feeling a lot of stress. What was said is the cause of our suffering, and I explained it. We act unconsciously. I have a lot of expectations and demands from others, and I wish my family would understand me better. Friend, I want my partner to always be my ally and focus solely on me, but I understand that others are not just robots to do our bidding. Each person is an independent being with their own thoughts and feelings. When we forget this simple truth, we end up becoming overly attached to others, and feelings like disappointment, anger, and sadness arise. Buddha, I can't control what others do, that I taught that we can control our emotional reactions. This means that no matter how someone else behaves, it's up to us how we choose to respond. Here, an indifferent attitude can have a strong impact. For instance, you might feel anger toward a friend who shows up late to a meeting, thinking about how irresponsible that is. In the end, it doesn't really matter. We're only human. One can also view it as them sometimes being generous. It's clear that the company can maintain both the relationship and a sense of calmness within oneself. In human relationships, the need for approval can be especially painful. Not everyone feels the desire to be recognized and appreciated. Becoming fixated on that will lead you to live a life dictated by others' opinions, such as the number of likes on social media, and always concerned about external evaluations, like the responses during meetings. Please teach me that my worth is not determined by how others evaluate me. There is someone is here, so that you can maintain a distance where you don't feel affected by others' opinions. Naruto, from deep within oneself to help you recognize the true values that are emerging. It will become. It's not about what others think of you. This is a comparison. That person is achieving greater success. That person is more popular. When comparing oneself to others who have such things, considering can be done from. However, I'll give you a good whack. Life is not a race. It's a journey for each individual to walk their own path. That you'll reach a point where comparing yourself to other companies feels irrelevant, gaining the freedom to live life at your own pace. To do. Common issues in relationships. It's a wound from the past. The words spoken to me long ago and the treatment I've endured over the years. Also pulling along. There are quite a few people who are still continuing. However, the Buddha, the past, can be changed. It's not here. It's about how to interpret that. I teach that it's all up to you. When I can distance myself enough to feel indifferent about past events, of the heart the wound is healing gradually. There are opportunities to establish new relationships. However, an indifferent attitude. It certainly isn't about overlooking human relationships. On the contrary, release your attachments. By means of a more wholesome and deeper relationship, so that one can create. It comes down to this. When there is no attachment, we can accept others just as they are. To make it possible, it will become something. Instead of forcing expectations of how things should be, to be able to respect the individuality and perspective of others. This is what it means, true compassion. Linked to it is. There is a complaint about what being considerate really means. It is a form of unconditional kindness that doesn't expect anything in return. If you act this way, people will be grateful. It seems likely. You will likely be liked if you engage with others. In those types of calculations, it's simply the opponent. I wish for your happiness. Beyond attachment, this is, at that place. Such pure compassion, human relationships are formed. Let's start with small steps. For instance, someone's offhand comment really hurt me. Time I guess the other person judging is muddled by these words, as I observe my own emotions. More than just the actions and words themselves for an extended period go ahead. The world of good mummies. Why, you should pay attention to how you're reacting to it. And how let's practice letting go, as if it's nothing to worry about. Also, in heated discussions, people often become too attached to their own opinions, that my opinion is not being accepted. I don't care either way. No. Please consider. If, then we have become capable of engaging in flexible and constructive dialogue. It pertains to human relationships. Release your attachments when I go something mysterious. In terms of human relationships, things will start to get better, and you'll find peace of mind. Don't let the actions of others affect your mood. Continuing to engage in a gentle manner, that's because you will be able to do it. And with such a stable mindset, when engaging with others, between a harmonious relationship with nature develops. It's going to happen. Chapter 5. Finding true happiness in the unimportant of the road. In the earlier chapters, Ruta, a mindset of indifference rooted in the teachings. However, obsession, facing desires, and finding liberation direction, or aside to this right now, living in the moment, and our relationships, the wisdom of to connect. I have seen this before. So what do you think? An attitude of acceptance guides us toward certain perspectives of the system, or not, and I'll share some tips for putting that into practice in your daily life. Buddha, the joy of teaching comes not from fleeting pleasures gained from achievements. It's not here, it's in my heart. To rise up or well up sustainable feeling of contentment, this regardless of external circumstances, whatever happens. Resilience that can be sustained in any environment. I have. To reach a point where it seems unimportant, you will become aware of this inner happiness. For instance, it's frustrating when it rains on your days off, making it impossible to go out. I could do that, but I don't really care. Acceptance, appreciate the joy of taking it easy. Even if things don't go as planned, discover happiness even in those circumstances. We often you'll find happiness once it reaches zero. If you get promoted, but if happiness is always postponement, it ends up happening. Nada represents the endless. They refer to the chain of desires as omission. Genuine happiness, I explained that it is a hindrance. I don't care. This free from sacrifice, it's here now. In a happy way, moving forward towards a goal. While it is important, don't get hung up on that. Life at this moment, a fleeting moment, that's the truth. It is a path to happiness, influenced by factors that may seem trivial, and feeling light-hearted to be able to see the world from a new perspective. It will happen. For instance, commuting on a packed train, many people I want to get there early. More water, I wish it were the case that I am feeling frustrated. But how if I can accept that I notice the expressions of the people around me, observing or possibly, and so on, enjoying the view outside, and at that time in such a way that is releasing attachments. So, it's true, you start to see what truly matters. This also has an effect that many people experience. However, revealing this at the deathbed is more if you carve out some time to spend with your loved one. I'm glad. If you dare to pursue what you truly want, I'm glad to hear that. It's said that these things exist, so they feel inconsequential. Instead of fixating on superficial success or social recognition, dedicate your time and energy to what truly matters to you. To be able to use tomorrow, I'll prioritize how I want to live over what others think of me. To be able to do something, it becomes a habit to practice trivial things in everyday life. To first of all, this will still be the same in 10 years. You should take a look. There are many things to see. Concerns and worries is in the long run. It's a trivial matter. By asking this question, we are touching on something truly significant. And so a perspective that differentiates what is not. At the statue, it's important to carve out even a little time each day to do nothing. It is always effective. I need to do something. Liberated from the belief of non-existence. Just there, let's take a moment to appreciate the comfort of being present. This practice reminds us that our true value lies not in what we accomplish, but in how we complete things. Practicing gratitude is important too. If you make it a habit to think of 3 good things that happened each day before you go to bed, one's heart becomes naturally fulfilled. When we cultivate the awareness of small joys, I want more, this attachment will gradually fade away on its own. Indeed, true happiness comes from having peace of mind. And said, to feel like it doesn't matter if your life is dictated by attachment and desire, you'll never find true fulfillment, no matter how long you seek it. By undergoing a transformation in that silence, a happiness that I hadn't noticed before begins to reveal itself. Lastly, I want to emphasize that having an indifferent attitude doesn't mean you're giving up on life or that you don't care. It is the master. By freeing yourself from excessive attachment, you will come to express with all your heart and soul what truly matters. A freedom that is unbound by attachment. Living with an open heart can experience life more deeply and richly. It will turn into something. Starting today, you can also be more humble. For that reason, how about starting a seemingly trivial practice to help you cope with daily frustrations and anxieties? As I gradually let go, the heart is gradually getting lighter. You will realize that nature and life are improving. This freedom associated with prices, which was addressed 2,500 years ago, is in our hearts. As we live in the modern world, that IT brings genuine peace and joy. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's embrace the wisdom of Buddhism to make our lives brighter and filled with happiness.